Good morning. My name is Cheryl Woodard, and I'm one of the meditation teachers here at ABS. And I'm afraid I had to restart. Maybe I've been a little messy this morning with technology, but here we are. I'm coming to you today from our bookstore because people are meditating in the main hall together, as they do every Saturday and Sunday at 9 a.m., weekdays at 11:30. According to the Buddhist teachings, we make mistakes, we suffer, because we are afraid. We walk cautiously through life, guarding ourselves from the tigers, wolves, and snakes that threatened our primordial ancestors, because our bodies inherited their fear. Fear is in our DNA, in the structure of our brains, and in our daily habits. Fear is like a clenched fist, small, self-centered, and tight. You can't really do much with a clenched fist. The Buddhist path is designed to loosen the grip of fear, to step beyond it, and to free ourselves. And freedom, unclenching from fear, comes from in two stages. First, we learn to recognize fear arising in our minds. We befriend this primitive part of ourselves, offer a compromise of peacefully abiding in the world. In a way, you could say that we train in bravery. We let the fear come up, but don't let it carry us away. We let it come and go. This is what we call mindfulness practice. Second, we engage our hearts. Looking beyond our personal fear opens our natural tenderness and connection. We are hardwired for fear, yes, but we are also hardwired for love and compassion. We resonate with one another. Love is another way to unclench your fist. So Buddhists train in compassion as well as bravery. First, looking at your own hand, gently letting it relax, and then extending your hand towards others. At any moment, you can choose one or both of these trainings for your meditation practice. Bravery training is when you peacefully sit through stormy emotions, maintaining a quiet presence that is aware but undisturbed. Compassion training is when you tune into the suffering of other people, deliberately drawing them close and opening your heart to them. And I have to say that when I use the word meditation, I'm not just talking about the 10 or 20 or 30 minutes or 50 minutes or an hour that you're sitting in meditation on a cushion. That cushion training is actually just practice for the ideas that you would do those practices all the time throughout your day. And eventually it becomes possible to develop these skills of bravery and compassion in your daily life. So one of our teachers, my favorite teacher, Pema Chodron, she teaches daily life methods. She calls them, quote, on-the-spot techniques. For example, that you would do off the cushion. So the first one she teaches for bravery, she calls pause practice. P-A-U-S-E, pause. When something scary or awful happens, the idea is that instead of running away from it, you stand in place and take a couple of deep breaths. You look at your ancestral fears being activated and give yourself a little bit of space for not jumping into the habitual patterns, for experiencing something new. Her compassion training is just as simple. This one is called just like me. And it's just as simple as pause practice. When someone does something awful or hurtful, you think to yourself, just like me. You remember that just like all people, this person is moved by primeval fears and out of control emotions. You look beyond their bad behavior to see their raw humanity. You feel for them. Remember that we're talking about using this method for looking out for other people, especially the ones behaving badly. We're looking at this method as a way to liberate ourselves from the primal fears that control our own lives, to free ourselves. And so I'm not saying that you let people treat you badly. You don't. You step away, you stop them, you keep yourself safe. But you use their behavior as a method for cultivating your own freedom instead of letting their brokenness break you too. You wish that you and they could be free from all of this suffering. So look at the fist, relax the fist, extend the fist. That's the idea. So let's review exactly how we do this. The meditation practice is 4 parts: settling, opening, observing, and then softening. So settling means creating a time and a place where you're free from distraction, comfortable, safe, and able to relax. It also means establishing a posture, taking a posture that is upright, awake, but also relaxed and not stressed out. And so you firmly settle yourself onto a good seat, a supportive cushion or chair. You feel your body rising up from that support, and you relax, you breathe out and relax your body, any tension in your body. You settle into your body, you settle your body into this moment. And then opening is watching your breathing body exchange with the air and space around you. Without your having to do anything or control anything, or really beneath or beyond your control, your body is constantly exchanging fresh air from the outside with stale air from the inside, and thus connecting you to the world around you. And so you watch this breath happening and you let it open your awareness outwards towards the space outside of your head. And then the third step is observing, and this is where you notice yourself clenching and unclenching, where you see the activity of your mind, where it comes from, how it lingers, where it goes, how it dissolves. You just observe. You're not forcing yourself to think any particular way or to hold any sort of quiet or calm. You're not resisting the activity of your mind. You're simply observing it. Like you might observe the clouds moving across the sky or the wind blowing the leaves of a tree. You don't do anything about it. You just observe it. And this takes some practice, but the point is that if you're trying to watch your mind and you get caught up in it, or it seems hard, you just go back to step 1 and settle into your body. And step 2 of opening your awareness of your breath. Come back to your awareness of your breath. Start over. And let the mind just go where it wants to go. This is the unclenching of your hand. And you do that as long as you have. And then the 4th part of softening is engaging your heart. And here you make the deliberate wish that all people especially people who have harmed you or obstructed you or neglected you or whatever, offended you, that all people could be free of this tight, fearful existence, could be living peacefully and lovingly and happily in the world. And so I like to think about, by sitting here and being peaceful with myself, I have generated a kind of warmth or clarity or even maybe coolness on a hot day, and I think about extending that, radiating that feeling outwards towards all the people in the world who are feeling stuck just like me. And that's it. You do this as often as you can, and then you develop a sort of familiarity by doing it at home on a chair or a cushion regularly. You develop a kind of familiarity with the feeling of not getting carried away, of letting things come and go, of unclenching the tightness in your being, your fearfulness, not giving into your fearfulness, but just looking at it, living with it, letting it relax. You become familiar with that. And then you also become familiar with the idea that caring for other people is another way to unclench your own fearfulness. And then when you're going through your day, you can try the pause practice. I find it very effective. Someone is rude to me or mean to me or something in a grocery store, on the road, or whatever. I just take a few breaths to experience the space, that actually I don't have to instantly react. That's the problem. We instantly react. Because that's what you would do if a tiger was chasing you. You would have to be fast, right? But the guy in the other car is not a tiger. He's not going to eat me. And so I can take a minute and realize that I'm actually safe, that I'm actually okay, and he's actually no threat. And it's just my primal fear being activated, and I can see it come up and I can let it go. That's pause practice. And literally you just take a few breaths. And then the just like me practice again is to go beyond even pausing and saying, good luck to you, dude. May you have a blessed day. May you be free from whatever it is that is driving you to behave like that. May all of us be free from that kind of tightness and aggression and fearfulness. So that's what I have to say for today. I hope this is helpful to you. I want to speak for a minute about EBS. We are beginning very soon the renovations of our building, which means the building will be closed for a period of time, possibly a month. I don't really know. And I'm not even sure exactly when they'll start. But sometime in early August. So you should stay tuned to our Facebook page for information about the construction process. And when it's over, we're going to have very well functioning, efficient air conditioning and heat. We're going to have lights that cost less to operate and save money. We're going to have wheelchair access to the building, which is something we have never had, and new landscaping in front and all kinds of wonderful things. And this space will be even more comfortable and welcoming. And if you feel like donating to that process, please go to our website. You can go to the donations page and just make a donation. You can, there's a news page that talks about the construction process and has a link for donating. For that, everything we do is paid for by donors, and we are still trying to raise about $50,000, so whatever you can give us will be helpful and much appreciated. But in the meantime, come on over, check us out, be with us. August, like I said, will be quiet because we'll be under wraps, but stay tuned and come back in September. And between now and the middle of August, or you can try coming to our sittings every day, 11:30 to 12, and 9 to 9:30 on weekend mornings. And all week long we have practice groups. Look at our schedule on our website. So you're welcome to everything. It's all free and open to the public. And filled with people. This building is filled with people who are just like you, trying to be kind and open and brave. And we're good at it. We can do it together. So that said, I wish you all the best until the next time I see you. Bye-bye.